Hey everybody, welcome to ERT episode 2 of season 2. Today we're going to talk about a few things and be kind of like a smorgasbord of stuff. First thing I'm going to start off with is we went to Phoenix and California and we visited a couple parks. We actually went to 4 new parks, but we have this special little board here. I don't know if you can see it. Ta-da! You bought this off of Amazon?
No. Not even close.
Okay, I don't know. Where'd you get it?
Seriously don't remember this?
I don't remember.
I am a wedding photographer, and one of my brides, who is also a roller coaster enthusiast, gave this to me on her wedding day as a gift to say thank you for being her wedding photographer. Yes. You don't remember this?
No, I remember that.
Okay. Yes, it was all rolled up and in a tube, like a real tight tube, and she handed it to me as she was getting ready for her wedding day, and I was like, what is this? And she was like, this is a gift. She's like, I hope you don't have anything like this. And she was very excited. And so I opened it when we got home, and it's this super cool map of the major parks in the United States. And you scratch them off. So you scratch off the ones that you've been to. So this is actually done by like a small business called Views and Cues. You can link them in somewhere. Somewhere. They mostly do they mostly do like cruise stuff. A lot of the things that they produce revolve around cruises, but then they also have a few amusement park things. Their YouTube channel is mostly cruising stuff, but then they have this random cool map. And so this is what they...
So yeah, we're going to cross off 2 of the parks because the other 2 aren't. Castles and Coasters and Belmont Park are too small to be on this list.
Yeah, and they give you like a little like guitar pick looking thing to scratch off the parks.
So if you want to cross off one of them, and I'll cross off the other.
Okay, so we went to Knott's Berry Farm.
Ta-da! And then the other park we went to is SeaWorld San Diego. Making it the last official SeaWorld park in the continental U.S. that we have been to. So we've been to all of them.
Yay! So super cute. Derek can link, Rachel was my bride who gave that to me. She actually has her own Instagram account, and it's called Support Your Local. I'm going to get it wrong, but it's like Support Local Amusement Park, Support Local Theme Parks, or something like that. Derek can link her below. And she does a lot of like historical things with roller coasters. So super cool. Their wedding was so much fun.
Great. So yeah, so on our trip, we're not going to spend the whole time talking about it. We thought we'd just bring out like a couple key points of our trip. Little different. I think one of the biggest things is we obviously went in November, which is, I would still consider like off season. It was in between Halloween and Christmas. One of the biggest key takeaways I can say is there is a difference between East Coast off-season and West Coast off-season. Because if you go down to like Orlando, Florida, you go into those parks, they will have rides down for annual maintenance. It's what happens, and it's always during the off-season. However, I wasn't expecting as many rides to be down when we went to California. So between Knott's Berry Farm and SeaWorld San Diego, we are going to miss out on 6 of their roller coaster credits for now, just because they were down for annual maintenance, or a couple of them were just broken down altogether. So that is something to take into consideration when you travel somewhere, to pay attention to see kind of what is the trends in that area, like when do they do their annual maintenance, because you can kind of follow that trend along. So it's kind of like something to pay attention to.
I feel like the parks in Florida, their off season isn't until like January and February.
Well, yeah, that's it. Usually, or the other big time is usually right after September. It's like after Labor Day. There might be a week or two where you'll see certain rides that'll go down
before like Halloween stuff starts.
Yeah, before everything really ramps up. So I was kind of surprised how much was down in November. I thought that would have been more of like getting closer, getting ready for the whole Christmas season or whatnot.
I would say we went right after Halloween, so most of their Halloween stuff was put away. There was still some Halloween stuff out and about, and then like most of their Christmas stuff was put up, but not all of it.
The next big takeaway I would say is we're usually we're almost like a mix of being spontaneous and like scheduled. And on this trip, I mean, I don't want to say that it came back to bite us. It's unfortunate circumstances. Our plan was to go to SeaWorld San Diego on Monday, but because I was kind of keeping myself a little bit flexible, and to purchase the tickets, you had to select which date you wanted to go to. And I had to purchase 3 tickets. We had season passes, but my parents, and we had to get one for Leander. I didn't purchase those in advance, and I was watching the prices, but when I was ready to do it, I ended up doing the day of. And so when I looked on Monday, the price, no joke, went up like $60. So it was like $65, and then it was $115 by that day. So that's why we're like, oh, we can go Wednesday and get the $65 price. So that's what we did. But unfortunately, doing that swapped our schedule with Knott's Berry Farm, and Accelerator was closed on Monday. And again, I wasn't even expecting Accelerator to open. All the rumors was saying that coaster wasn't going to open until Christmas earliest, and lo and behold, it opened that week. But if we would have went to the park and spent the whole day on Wednesday, we would have gotten on Accelerator. It's just one of those things. But we did go back to the park on Thursday, hoping we had a couple hours in, and during that couple hours was just not enough time to get on Accelerator.
Right, it was it had a delayed opening, is what we were told, and we waited as long as we possibly could.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate of how it works. But so I don't know if I want to say like be spontaneous and also being structured. It's important to pay attention, just take a look at the local schedules to see what the trends are. It is important to be spontaneous so you can be flexible with your schedule to make changes on the fly. Like obviously we saved like $180 by doing that switch. So, or again, maybe I should have purchased the tickets the day before. I guess I was being a little lazy on that one. Who knows? But
I mean, we've been spontaneous and other things, more flexible. Like when we stayed extra time at Dollywood in 2020, we extended our stay just because we had so much fun at the resort and in the park, and we stayed longer. When we went to Disney last year.
Yes, we did. We changed our plans around.
We swapped our days around so that we would have a relaxing day, and that was amazing and needed.
Yeah. I mean, for the most of the time, whenever we were spontaneous, it usually worked out in our favor. So this time it just didn't. I guess is the best way to approach it in the way that we wanted, but it's how it goes.
So it just is what it is.
Yeah. This recent weekend, we went to Kalahari Resort. We're not really going to talk about that, but we went in, had fun time. My quick little takeaways, I call it a la carte the ride. Everything is an additional fee. But anyways.
We have opinions.
Yeah. So on our way back, though, we swung by Cedar Point and got to check out Top Thrill 2 in the background. The construction is done. And yeah, crazy enough, today is Monday. We were there on Sunday, and today there's video of the roller coaster testing. So we missed it by 24 hours, which is crazy, but whatever. So, but speaking of Cedar Point, we haven't really talked about the whole Cedar Fair-Six Flags more or less merger that's going to be happening, assuming that it's approved by the board or whatnot. I did do a video on it, but I thought I would kind of get your take. What do you think about this major merger happening between the two big chains here in the United States?
I feel like it could be a really good thing or it could be a really bad thing. The question is, does Cedar Point pull Six Flags up, or does Six Flags drag Cedar Point down?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the concern. I think the biggest concern right off the bat is everybody thought Six Flags merchandise name is going to be slapped over everything at the Cedar Fair parks, and it doesn't seem that's going to be the case. Not to say that you won't see Six Flags.
The ads?
Yeah, I sure hope not. I hope that's one thing that goes away is all the obnoxious ads. Like
Takis.
Takis or Kia
Snickers.
the Ride, which is also El Toro. Yeah, things like that. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. So not to say that Cedar Fair doesn't have ads. It's just not as obnoxious. But as far as I understand, it doesn't sound like everything's just going to go to DC Comics and, Looney Tunes or whatever. So hopefully not. Anyways, but
we did talk when we were at Knott's. we did, I was wearing a Six Flags shirt that day.
You were.
And it was kind of the joke of like, oh, I'm wearing the new park shirt. And an employee actually talked to us about, he was like, oh, what do you guys think about the merger that was announced? And we were chatting back and forth with him, and he was very optimistic about everything. He was like, as far as Knott's goes, he was like, we're not going anywhere. We're staying here. We're keeping our history. We're not changing.
Yeah, I think the biggest I think one of my best takeaways of this whole thing is the CEO of Cedar Fair is going to be the CEO of this new Six Flags park. I think he's done a very good job with the Cedar Fair parks. He doesn't have the same philosophy as Six Flags, where before they were pumping out rides at every single park. And I think most of those rides coming to those parks were mediocre carnival-esque type attractions. I mean, even speaking of the latest attractions that they built, which are those two Skyline like dueling kiddie coasters, if you know what I'm talking about. It's like the Flash Cosmic coasters. Six Flags over Georgia and Six Flags Fiesta Texas. And as far as I understand, they're both currently down. And I know the one at Georgia, the roller coaster train's already off the track. So
what do you mean?
They removed the trains off the track, meaning that there's some kind of problem with the ride already.
Already?
Yeah,
did it
exactly.
Open? It didn't actually open, did it?
It did. It opened like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, it did open.
Yes,
I do
it opened
remember
and
seeing
closed.
That.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Which is not good for Skyline because they're the ones that, if you remember, they had that Harley Quinn spin sanity train or whatever it was. It was like the figure eight thing going back and forth, and that lasted like a whole season because it was awful. So, yeah, not looking too good for them. But maybe they'll pull this one together. I don't know. But yeah, overall, same thing as what I said in my video. I'm kind of neutral. For those who are concerned about like, oh, this is a monopoly, I'm sorry, but there really is no such thing as a monopoly when it comes to theme parks. Theme parks they don't just compete with other theme parks. They compete with the full entertainment spectrum.
Okay.
People, when they go to a park, it's not just like, I know CEOs have talked about, park presidents have talked about that they're not really just competing with other parks. They're really competing with Netflix or what kids are watching on TikTok, YouTube, video games, because the whole point is they're trying to get people out of their house and at their property. So sure, does this limit maybe the amount of different franchised theme parks in the country for now? Sure, but it's not stopping anybody. Again, that's the other thing about a monopoly. It's not preventing other companies from building another park. It's not like these are the only parks that exist and that's how it goes. No, people can still venture into this whole entertainment market. So I'm not really worried about that, saying that it's a monopoly and it'll inhibit. I mean, obviously we always like more competition, but I think this might actually amp up the competition. And we'll see certain parks get closed in the Cedar Fair-Six Flags chain and possibly outside. I think it's going to be a big mix.
If they get closed, what do you think will happen to them?
Most of them will probably just turn into real estate, I think. Some of them are in prime real estate location that they could just be torn down, or you'll just see like the whole like Lake Geauga scenario where Geauga Lake, where the whole place gets gutted, or first it gets turned into a water park, one or the other. I don't know. We'll see. I think the biggest one on the chopping block will be Six Flags America. I have a feeling in like 5 years that's not going to be an actual theme park. It'll probably just still be like a water park. Could be wrong.
What do you think will happen with season passes? Do you think you'll be able to buy a season pass that will cover the entire Cedar Fair and Six Flags chain? I mean, that would be a massive.
They did say that was part of the plan,
pass.
Is that they were going to have a season pass that would cover all of the parks. I
Do
have
you
no
think
idea
it's
how
gonna cost,
expensive it's going to be.
$500?
I don't know. I mean, if you look at the prices, well, Six Flags is a little kind of confusing to tell you what the exact price. We were able to get one for Leander that covers all the whole chain, because we have the membership. We've been in the membership thing for a while now. And we didn't need him on the membership when it started, and then when he needed it, it was no longer offered. So anyways, we got him, I think it was like $120. I got him the platinum, and that lets him get into every Six Flags park. Cedar Fair, it's like $240, something like that, give or take, because you have to buy a gold pass, and then you get like the park additional thing that lets you get it. They changed there's no platinum pass anymore in Cedar Fair. But Busch Gardens, their passes can go upwards of like $400, $450. So it could be more in line with that. So, but again, this will push more. That's the thing. This will push more competition because if essentially allows this chain to lower their season pass prices, which could be a thing where they can lower their price of their platinum, it might put a little pressure on Busch Gardens to lower their prices, or even some regional parks like our home park of Kennywood. Their platinum pass is actually more expensive than the one that you can currently get for Cedar Fair, and I'm like, that's kind of a ripoff. But yeah, that's my hot take. Sure, we'll see. We'll still see if it happens because it has to go before the board and get approved or whatever.
Before whose board? Cedar Fair's?
No, it's
board?
like the. I'm sorry, like the. I'm sorry. I don't really know too much when it gets to the whole stock world, but it's like members part of the stock. People, you get to vote on things.
Well, yeah,
if you own stock in corporation.
Well, yes. Okay.
I'm sure there's somebody out there screaming at me like because they know it better, but nonetheless, it still has more approval process, which they don't expect it to be done until at least the end of the first quarter of 2024. So I think that's like what, in April or something. I can't quite remember.
Ish.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. As for somebody right now who currently has a platinum pass in Six Flags and Cedar Fair, I hope it doesn't go into play until the next year, or they'll give them a refund for one of them, because then all of a sudden I have a product that's completely useless. But that's a topic for another day.
I mean, that seems like a really fast jump to all of a sudden have new season pass policies.
Yeah, I think it'll be a slow rollout.
The season has already started. Like, that seems...
But it's not like we haven't seen stuff like this before in the past. I mean, even our home park, Kennywood, was like changing dates and things or benefits
change stuff all the time
on the fly. Like within like a week, it's one thing, and the next week it's something else. But so who knows? We'll see.
I have a quiz for you.
You have a quiz for me.
Oops, I stepped on it. Okay. Are you ready?
This looks like a long quiz.
This is a long quiz. This is just like a yes or no answer.
Okay.
Do you have a pen? All right, let me grab. Okay. This is a BuzzFeed quiz called Are You a True, and I mean true, roller coaster enthusiast? So we're going to see if you qualify.
If I pass.
So you're just supposed to answer like yes or no.
Okay.
Have you visited more than 30 amusement parks?
I'm sure that answer is yes. I just don't know off the top of my head, but I'm sure it definitely is.
Have you counted how many roller coasters you've been on?
Yes.
Ranked the roller coasters you've been on?
Yes, not all of them though. I'm sorry, I'm not crazy like Airtime Thrills. Sorry to call you out, Chris. But yeah, there's no way I could rank every single coaster. That's insane for me.
Have you ridden a kiddie coaster so you could add it to your credit count?
I have unfortunately done that.
Have you had someone question why you're riding a kiddie coaster?
I never had anybody question. Thankfully, I've usually had my kids with me, so I got away with it.
Have you felt embarrassed for riding a kiddie coaster?
Yes. The wacky worm.
Oh. Have you binge watched roller coaster POVs?
Yes.
Binge watched roller coaster YouTubers?
Yes.
Laughed at a GP YouTube comment?
Yes.
Laughed at something a GP said in real life about a roller coaster?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Have you laughed at something a GP said in real life, like in a real conversation
so
about a roller coaster?
It's not more of a I laugh as more as I like maybe cringe or try to bite my teeth of my lip so I don't like say something.
Your tongue. Bite your tongue.
Yeah, tongue. Whatever.
Bite your teeth.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, have you purposefully left your restraint a little loose so that you could get more airtime?
A little.
Have you gotten stapled badly?
Of course.
Gotten angry at a ride up for assigning you a bad row?
I have to work on that one. I haven't gotten truly angry, but that's one of those things I always ask them, like, hey, can I go to the back row? And sometimes, very rarely do they ever say no, but I usually go along with it. I don't want to be that bozo that wants to fight them, but inside I might get a little mad.
Have you waited more than 15 extra minutes to get a specific seat?
I think so, yeah.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
When you
it's not common, but I will.
When you ride in the front row to get a POV video, those.
A lot of times it works out in my favor that I don't have to end up waiting too long for that. But it's been a while since I've purposely waited really extra long for a row because a lot of times
I feel like the first season that you did it, you waited pretty long.
Sometimes,
for a few coasters.
It's still a yes.
Have you worked at a theme park?
I have not.
You're not a roller coaster enthusiast.
Whatever.
Have you spent more than $100 in theme park merch in one day?
Actually, yes, we did. We finally did that at Epcot. I don't think that we ever done that before then.
But that's also like you and your 2 children and yeah.
But just not me. I'm not a big merch person, to be honest.
Have you built a nano coaster?
Yes, that's the one that I have, right? Of Fury 325?
Yes.
Okay.
The little like thing you punch out
Yes.
the little wire things and
Yes,
string
I
them all
built
together.
that one.
Have you had your own miniature park made out of several nano coasters?
No, because that's the only nano coaster I have. But though I have that wooden statue thing of Top Thrill Dragsters.
That's called something
front
else.
Zero
I don't know
car
what
or
that's
whatever.
called.
I don't know.
That's called something else, but same concept.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you played Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Way too much. Probably my whole entire childhood between the ages of like 11 and 13 is like Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Have you played Planet Coaster?
Yes, but not as much.
Have you done No Limits?
Of course.
Yes. Marathon to Roller Coaster?
Yes.
Which roller coaster?
Marathoned?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've actually done like a true marathon, but I did it at Six Flags Darien Lake with Ride of Steel.
Really long time ago.
And I also, it wasn't that long ago, but it was
Forever.
13 years ago, 14 years ago.
I was going to say, what are you talking about? That was,
But
had
it
to
was
be...
Ride of Steel, and it was their moto coaster or whatever. I think it might have called the Orange County Choppers, whatever nonsense at that time. But
I mean, technically, you marathon Thunderbolt at Kennywood when you were there for that event? Yeah?
I didn't even ride it that day.
Oh, you didn't?
No, because you had to have a partner, and there wasn't really a partner to ride it, so I just didn't really. Okay. That's a whole nother story.
Whole other story. Okay. Have you ridden the Beast at night?
Yes, but I haven't done the last ride of the night, but I have ridden it during night.
Have you bragged about a last ride of the night?
I have never bragged about the last ride of the night, though I have gotten the last ride of the night, but on silly attractions.
Silly attractions. Have you created a social media page just for roller coasters?
I guess no comment?
No comment. Have you referred to yourself as a THOOSIE?
No, because I think it's a dumb phrase.
Have you drooled over the thought of Dollywood cinnamon bread?
I haven't drooled over the thought of it, but I do enjoy it.
Have you waited outside a coaster's entrance to make sure you're on the last train of the night?
I have not done that waiting for the last train of the night.
Terrible. Failing.
It's never been my thing.
I would say we usually are gone by that point.
Yeah, or even if I was there, I just never cared to get the last ride of the night. Just doesn't. I
I would say now if it was changed to waited outside of a coaster's entrance to make sure you're the first one on the train of the day.
I've done that plenty of times.
done that. Okay, arrived at a park more than an hour before opening.
Obviously.
Taken a vacation solely dedicated to visiting parks.
Definitely not.
Every vacation is dedicated to visiting parks. Have you complained about trim brakes?
Yes.
Have you had a dream about a roller coaster?
I don't know, maybe once a week, or I don't know. Probably not that often, but I do.
Have you cried in the off season because you missed riding roller coasters?
I never cried. Yes.
Have you attended a Halloween event at a park?
Yes, but not really for the Halloween event.
Have you attended a Christmas event at a park?
Yes.
Have you stalked a roller coaster manufacturer's website with no intention of buying?
Well, the fact that I wouldn't have a few $1 million to drop on a roller coaster. But yes, I have checked out. That was actually more so when I was younger. I would go through and like drool over like Intamin's website or something, but it's been a while.
Have you stalked a roller coaster manufacturer's website because you were dreaming of buying?
No.
Have you referred to Six Flags as the discount chain?
Yes.
Have you gotten way too excited when a roller coaster or theme park appears in a TV show or a movie?
Yes, and I like to point out the inaccuracies.
Have you purposefully sought out TV shows or movies that feature roller coasters or theme parks?
I don't think so, but I believe actually I did watch one movie purposely because I think I heard that it was Six Flags Over Georgia's being featured in it, which was that new family vacation movie, because the original one was Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
And the new one is still saying they're going to Wally World, but they feature Six Flags Over Georgia, which if anybody knows, those parks look completely different.
What? No. Same setting and everything. Okay. Have you argued if Orion is a Giga Coaster or not?
I think I've had videos dedicated on it, and yes, it is a Giga Coaster. It's a silly argument to argue over.
Have you gotten really excited about Buzz Bars? When a ride has buzz bars.
Not really. Not really. Sometimes I actually don't
Lame.
like buzz bars on certain roller coasters.
Lame. Have you hugged a roller coaster support?
Yes, we have a photo of me hugging Storm Chaser. I'm Storm
Twice.
Runner.
Storm
Yes.
Runner. Twice, yes. Had a roller coaster as your phone background.
I think it currently is my phone background.
No, it's not.
No, that's my lock screen as my children.
No,
Oh,
the
right now it's
Epcot.
the Epcot ball. It needs to get updated. That's getting kind of stale.
Have you made a joke about the shed?
Yes.
Have you joined a coaster club?
I did, and I already left it. No, it's Ace. Sorry, I just didn't like the group.
Have you been to Hollywood Nights?
No, I have not.
Are you going this year?
Probably not.
Tickets are already sold out, so you are not.
I guess I'm not, unless somebody wants to give one to me. Or just me. Don't worry
Two,
about Kara.
please.
Just me.
2. I'd be very angry if you went without me. Have you taken a behind-the-scenes tour of an amusement park?
Yes.
Had friends chicken out on riding a roller coaster with you? Had a
Actually,
sibling
I
chicken
have
out
been the
on
one
riding?
that's most of the time that chickened out growing up. But since then, I feel like most of there has been people in our crew that did chicken out. I'm trying to think, but most of the time I was able to convince them to hop on.
He's very convincing. Have you taken online quizzes about roller coasters?
Yes.
I figured. Okay, so are we calling you a roller coaster enthusiast?
I don't know. What is it supposed to tell you? Like you do get so many or a whatever or something? Well, okay. Lame.
So decide in the comments below because he didn't get them all.
I'm obviously not.
He's
because
obviously
I don't care
not.
about last ride of the night.
roller coaster
So-
enthusiast. I say apparently whoever wrote that quiz was very obsessed
Yes.
with last ride of the night.
Yes, I'm trying to. Well, yeah, I didn't actually. You know what? I lied. I have waited at the side for Thunderbolt. I forgot about that.
Thunderbolt?
Yes, when I was there with Austin. Well, that's going to do it for our episode of ERT. Tune in next time. This is Derek.
And I'm Kara.
Thanks for watching Extreme Thrills.